As the most stupendous week in professional wrestling begins, the entire wrestling world came to a halt last night on Sunday during the Oscars to react to Will Smith slapping the taste out of Chris Rock's mouth. We're going to jump into that. Plus, we got more updates on Cody Rhodes. Will he be at Raw or will he be showing up at WrestleMania? According to Seth Rollins, that may be happening this weekend. Plus, we got some news on the Steiner brothers finally getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. And Dave and Buster's announces their collaboration with WWE so you can watch WrestleMania while you play video games. We're going to jump into all of that and more in today's edition of The Top Story.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Happy Monday to everyone. Happy WrestleMania week. It is here. It's The Top Story. I'm Jose G. Next to me, Jeremy Bennett. We're bringing you all the hottest headlines of the weekend and today that y'all need to know in the world of wrestling. Welcome to the show, everyone. As always, make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. Show the support. Engage with the show. We love every single one of you that are watching, so make sure you are showing that support. How are you, Jeremy? How was your weekend? Tremendous job as trivia master yesterday.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. A very, very close match. Well, except for Rick. Rick forgot to show up, unfortunately. But a true battle between Sid and Robert. We may have ourselves a one-on-one match in the near future for that Sportskeeda Trivia Federation Championship.
Good stuff, guys. And if you guys haven't catch it right now on demand. Head on over to our YouTube channel. We're well on our way. I think we're just past 27,000. So we appreciate all of you guys for subscribing and liking and sharing and sharing. So make sure you go over there, check out the entire show. It is great. We got tons of content dropping for you guys this week. We got a bunch of Mania minutes that are going to be dropping this week. If you haven't checked them out on Instagram. We got 30,000 views on the few that just was posted today. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you for the support. So make sure you check out all the content. Plus, Kevin and I will be in Dallas this week to cover a lot of the stuff that's going to be going down during WrestleMania weekend. So again, set your notifications to see first because we're going to be bringing you guys some really cool content and some good exclusives that you don't want to miss here on Sportskeeda. And speaking,
got a run in.
Tell him we got a little run in directly from Austin. Let's bring him in.
By God, it's Austin.
By God, it's Kevin Keller from Austin.
Oh hell yeah! Look at that. I have the state capitol right over my shoulder. That's the actual state capitol right there.
Nice.
Right there. Not a photo, not a stock photo in a hotel. Not at all. It's a real thing.
How you liking Austin so far? You're in Austin right now, but we're going to be meeting in Dallas on Wednesday. But
Austin's very weird.
Austin
is very
cool,
weird.
Dude. I love Austin.
Yeah, it is a weird town. I went to the Museum of Weird today. It's literally a weird museum, and it's all oddities and just fun. It's New Orleans with a dry heat is the best way of describing it. The whole downtown area is pretty cool. I'll be doing some comedy stuff tonight and hopefully doing radio with a hangover tomorrow morning and then podcasting with you guys. It's a full week. We have a ton of news here, boys. It's a busy day.
We got a busy day. I'm sure you had a busy day this morning in your radio job, Kevin. But let's jump into it. It's the only thing the entire world is talking about this morning, and that is the slap heard around the world.
Book it.
Will Smith
Book the match.
The absolute taste out of Chris Rock's mouth last night during the Oscars after he made a joke to Jada. And the wrestling world, dude, and the wrestling community immediately started dropping the memes, the videos, the reactions. We already have people trying to get this match put together for WrestleMania 38. But an interesting take on this, guys, as far as some of the wrestlers that have reacted to that. We've had Natalya react, Jerry the King Lawler, a few AEW guys. I think MJF also reacted to this. So, Jeremy, break this down for us. What did these talents say?
Yeah, Lawler tweeted late last night with the clip of course, the famous clip with David Letterman back when he was doing the Super Late Show on NBC back in the early 80s.
Lawler. I'm going to sue you.
He posted that clip and said, I already did this 40 years ago. MJF tweeted, "I can't believe Wardlow told Will to do that." I think Regal came out and said that I think he thinks he did it better when he slapped the taste out of Wheeler Yuta's mouth. Captain Sean Dean, of course, if you watch BTE, Sean Dean has a character, a coach persona, so to speak, where he coaches jobbers of what they did wrong against guys that get destroyed by like Wardlow and things like that. One of the funnier bits on BTE, and so he just simply put Chris Rock and then a gif of himself as coach saying, "Damn."
First off, let's get into the wrestling side of this because this is a wrestling show. But as a comedian, a working comedian, I need to talk about this as well. Wrestling side, WWE's got to do something about this. Like they
should.
I've already seen a photoshopped graphic of WrestleMania.
Oh,
today.
I've seen like 5 of them already.
We have one up on the Sportskeeda to give up to our Instagram team.
Face-to-face one, and
Yeah.
I've seen the next to X one. So I've seen like a bunch of them already.
Mark Henry posted one. Oh, I think somebody shared it, and then Mark Henry retweeted it. But somebody shared a graphic of Rampage, and Mark Henry retweets it. Goes, "Looks like there's been enough talk." It's time for the main event. And then
the internet, if anything is being proved here, is that the internet is still undefeated, right? And like just with anything.
Even Jericho Appreciation Society got in. They put their logo on Will Smith and typed pro wrestler on Chris Rock. Nyla Rose saying Chris Rock's going to have to move in with his aunt and uncle in LA to get away from all this riffraff. God.
He slapped one person on national television and everyone got mad.
Yeah. So and lots of other things here. Sami Zayn adding Chris Rock saying, "Call me, I know how it is."
So I think WWE should do at least they're going to do some type of joke about this.
God, they'll do one tonight. Guaranteed.
They'll do one tonight. I think it'd be better if they saved it for Mania.
They'll do a joke tonight. Corey Graves will mention something. They can't help themselves.
Yeah, that's one thing that they always do so
Seth
well is incorporate some of that
Rollins,
pop culture.
This fantasy book, right? Seth Rollins does a joke about Cody Rhodes, and out comes gives a joke about Brady. Out comes slap, back him in the face. Right? And they're gonna fight out of their designer suits.
My wife's name at your fucking mouth.
I don't think they'll do that tonight because I think they're still saving Cody for May. Well, I mean, Vince said it himself, and we'll get into
we'll touch on that in a little
video
bit
that just dropped. As a comedian, I mean, I have a lot of comic friends. I've been friends with a lot of comedians over the years. Some have blown up, like Pete Lee. I've known him since he was just getting started, and there is some blown.
I've just blown is what you're saying. Me as your other comedy friend, I've just blown is what you're saying.
There's legit concern, of people kind of wanting to act like Will Smith now, don't you think? There's a legit concern of people kind of copycatting this, thinking they're after
There's
few
a lot
pops.
of comedians that are saying that right now.
I can tell you, doing comedy the last year or so, where people kind of came out, and it was weird because you would go to some parts of the country and it would be wide open, and other parts of it wouldn't. Illinois, where I'm at, in Chicago, was kind of partial in terms of different shows, partial capacity in 2021 as more vaccination rates came out. But you went over the border to Indiana, it was like Wild West. You could go anywhere and do anything.
You're in the Wild West right now.
In Texas, they don't care at all. Yeah. There were a lot of comedians that came to Austin to do shows in the middle of the pandemic, well before there was vaccines and all that different stuff. So when things started to open up completely, you started to see more people just hearing about it. It wasn't, and I'm just saying at the scale that I'm doing, where I'm doing shows, I'm at the indie wrestling level of comedy. Okay, let me just put it that way. So even at that level, where you have audiences where they're comedy fans, they're coming because they're fans of comedy. And they've watched a special. Now they just want to go and experience it. And I have a show coming up in Springfield with 97.7 QLZ, one of the radio stations I work with. We're doing a show, and this was a discussion we already had. Is someone going to try and heckle you guys and pull a Will Smith? And now every comedy show that people go to for like the next year, there is going to be a preamble introduction of do not interrupt, do not heckle the comedians. It's not like a wrestling show. If you guys go to a stand-up comedy show and you do what Will Smith did, you're an ass. You are an
And
ass.
you're probably going to get barred from that place.
And I know
forever.
with the thing, people are asking, why didn't Will Smith get kicked out? Because the Academy knew he was winning an award in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And they knew what they had on their hands, and then it turned into a wrestling angle. I had some people in the chat earlier say that this was a work. I know with wrestling fans, we want to know if
it's
was
funny.
weird.
One of my wife's coworkers this morning texted her. He said, "I asked Jose if what happened last night was a work or was it real." And I'm like, I have no idea.
Well, did
I'm
you
like,
notice
if you
like,
ask me, it kind of looks like a work.
I did not watch it live. I was doing some gaming with a buddy of mine, and then I saw it all just blow up. And so it was on YouTube, clearly. The Japanese feed, I think, was the first one to drop of the uncensored. So I pulled that up. I watched it and literally paused it after the joke was told, like the first few seconds. Will Smith is laughing his ass off at the joke.
Christopher Ryan Cooper is with us all the time. CRC is in the chat. CRC better than WC Dub right there. He said the same thing. You can, when you watch the clip of it,
He's
like,
laughing.
Yeah, he's laughing until he sees Jada's reaction. And then, when he said, "Get her name out your mouth," the first time it sounded like he was joking, but then the second time it was heated AF. You could tell it wasn't a joke.
Did you see Lupita Nyong'o right behind Will Smith when he started yelling and her face was like
yeah. Did you see the collage of a bunch of celebs?
Yeah, it was great. Even The Rock, The Rock was like.
Ryan Gosling was trying hard not to laugh. I don't know if it was a work or not. There has been heat between Chris Rock and Jada for years now. So this ain't a one-off thing. This has probably been boiling over for some time now.
You went to the Oscars and Chris Rock, one of the greatest comedians of all time, got on stage. So what you did was sign up to be on a national television event so you can get more notoriety and stardom, and then someone's going to make a joke about you. But if the joke was on someone else, you would laugh. But if the joke is on you and you're center stage and you know you're going to be there because they want to frame you up for the shot of the joke, you signed up for that. You were there. You signed up for that. And I know Will Smith apologized. Will Smith is one of the greatest actors and entertainers of all time. I'm not critiquing him. I'm critiquing the idea of it. He's Chris Rock. Also, it was a tame joke in comparison to other jokes he's done.
I saw a tweet that said, if that was Dave Chappelle up there, he would be in the middle of his third hour of roasting Jada.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, guys. But as always, guys, we're gonna keep getting more of these reactions as these days go by. I mean, this was a really hot button topic today. But let's jump into some real wrestling news. Let's jump into some Cody Rhodes here because we got some more updates on Cody Rhodes via Fightful Select. What's the scoop here, Jeremy?
The latest on we got a lot of stuff here, obviously, with Cody Rhodes, but the first one from Fightful Select, tons of speculation on if he's appearing on the show. As of Sunday night, Cody was not on the internal script appearing on WWE Raw. They were told to expect teases throughout throughout the night. So there'll probably be a lot of teases, a lot of references. Late last week, Cody was actually scheduled to fly into Cincinnati/Northern Kentucky on Monday and is set to be there this week. We're not sure if he's doing business or what's going on. That is about a 4.5-hour drive from Pittsburgh, where they are currently at Monday Night Raw tonight. Mm-hmm. Then tie in a breaking video. Of course, we all knew that Seth had posted on Twitter that he was going to have to go to Stamford and go to meet with Vince McMahon. And WWE posted that video about an hour ago. Great 5-6 minute video, very entertaining. Seth Rollins being Seth Rollins. I think Vince was great. Just going, what the hell are you doing, kid? But a great video nonetheless. Basically, he confirmed that Seth Rollins is going to be in the main event. Now, I don't know if that was a slip or not, because
WWE, I know some people, they lose their minds when they hear main event at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
But they all over the place. There's some wild stuff that's been promoted that's really interesting and just out there. There is some matches that I think are just, it's a big on paper match. It just isn't getting up to the billing. And this is one where I think if you get Cody versus Seth and they go out and have a banger and Seth loses, I don't think Seth loses anything.
No.
And I think then WWE gains the big star from
you should have showed the end of that video. the end of the video is hilarious when Seth jumps
when
on
he
Vince's
jumps,
desk.
yeah, when he jumps on the desk, yeah. But I think this is actually a very, very smart.
That's a vertical leap in
tactic.
dance shoes, dude. Vertical leap in
Yeah,
dress
dude,
shoes.
absolutely. A box jump on dance shoes is great. That's how athletic he is. But this is an excellent marketing strategy from WWE. Think about the reach that their social media has. They have more social media presence than every single major sporting league right now, more than the NFL, more than the MLB, more than the NHL, more than the NBA, more than FIFA. They have the largest social media platforms. So it only makes sense that if they're going to put an angle or bring some interest about Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes over at WrestleMania, you do it on social media. That video, it's only been over an hour and already has 120 something thousand views.
Yeah.
It's
And that's on one platform. You know that's gonna be on
148,
YouTube.
100,
Yeah.
100, and that's only on Twitter. That doesn't count YouTube. That doesn't count Facebook. They did the same with Stone Cold. That video got 500,000 in less than an hour. So
let me see if
they're
it's on
doing
YouTube.
something. They're doing something that is working 100% because the majority of WWE's audience, boom, is right here.
141,000 views on YouTube as well. So basically the exact same amount of views on YouTube as in Twitter, just in an hour.
It's incredible. You know, it shows WWE's reach. You know, it's only going to get bigger. You know, they're going to put it on TV tonight.
Exactly.
And it's very, very impressive with this. I'm not saying that this year's WrestleMania is bigger than other ones, but it is an intriguing one as WWE evolves itself into this 2-night idea, which I think more and more fans are getting behind. If it's going to be the biggest show of the year, doing a 2-night festival of WWE at the biggest level, I'm okay with it, especially if you keep it in the stadiums.
And no surprise, Dave Meltzer from Wrestling Observer Radio is reporting that tonight's Monday Night Raw is going to be very heavily focused on the Seth Rollins story as well. So there's going to be a lot more to it outside of what we saw on social media just about an hour ago. A lot of Raw is going to center around Seth Rollins tonight, as this is the go-home show. They're actually branding it WrestleMania Raw. So they're
we're probably going to get WrestleMania NXT, or I don't know. I mean,
they already called SmackDown the same as well. So
exactly. Guys, I want to remind everyone to go ahead and subscribe to the Sportskeeda YouTube channel. We are well on our way, or over 27,000 subscribers. So we appreciate and love every single one of you for showing the support. And I see 123 of you watching the video right now. So every single one of you need to engage with this show right now. So hit the thumbs up, the heart emoji, the laugh emoji, the
however
emoji.
you feel.
However you feel, engage with the show. The more engagement you give us, the more people watch the video. So we appreciate everything you guys do for us and supporting us on an everyday level. But
and also, if you're watching on demand, we have a lot of people that watch on demand. They don't watch live with us. Get into those comments as well. I love talking to the people that catch the show, not live. Everyone who's on the podcast side of things, thank you guys so much. So many people listen to the podcast now. Tracking us as one of the top wrestling podcasts in the United States, Great Britain, India, Canada, and beyond. That's really, really cool. I know there's a lot of people that listen to the show. It was pretty sweet when I was in the airport today and someone said, "Oh, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Well, I'm a big fan. I'm going to WrestleMania." Talking to the guy for 5 minutes, and I have my hat on. Take the hat off. He goes, "Sportskeeda guy?" I was like, "Yeah."
Oh, nice.
And he was working. And he just knows Sportskeeda, so I'm okay with he doesn't know my name. He just knows me from the
Sportskeeda guy.
And I was like, I'll take Sportskeeda guy. That's okay.
Hell yeah.
That was pretty sweet.
couple of quick hit news items that have just dropped. Made official for WrestleMania Saturday. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day are going to take on Ridge Holland and Sheamus. No word. Originally, Fightful Select said, which the obvious if you could put two and two together, originally it was going to be a 6-man tag with Butch in there. No word if they will fill in someone for Butch, but right now it is made official. Just a 2-on-2 tag match. That is
Butch will be at ringside. Oh, Pete Dunne will be at ringside for that.
And that'll be WrestleMania Saturday. And also Undertaker, recent interview Undertaker had with CBS Sports indicated that his retirement in 2020 at Survivor Series with no fans made it a lot easier on him. Of course, his official chapter is going to close at the Hall of Fame this Friday.
He gets that walkout, though. You know, because they always bring the Hall of Fame class out. And I think it would be a shame, especially if they just decided this year we're not going to have the Hall of Fame people come out at Mania.
Oh, they always do.
No.
So.
Yeah, and I think this year it'll be do a wild send-off with The Undertaker.
Absolutely. He deserves it. I mean, and if you've noticed, there's not as many people in the Hall of Fame this year. So that's just to give more time to the Undertaker.
Hey, That's a good segue.
Yeah, it's a good segue.
That's a good segue.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you know what? I feel like we have to have a certain emotion. We have to be excited. We have to be energized. We have to be amazed. No, we have to be Steinerized. Get Steinerized. The
We got to
Steiner
get
brothers.
pumped.
The Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott, out of the University of Michigan, the studs that blew up big and became stars in Japan, became stars in the NWA. Look at them biceps on Jose. Biceps, come on, biceps get the curls. Big curls get the girls. Yeah,
He must work out.
he must work out. But no, the Steiners were the definition of just action figures turned pro wrestlers.
Oh, dude, for
My
real.
God. I mean, the first guy I ever saw do a Hurricane Rana, which was then the Frankensteiner, and you never saw anybody do that back in the day. And you see that for the first time watching NWA, WCW wrestling, you're just like, whoa, just amazed. And that was before he even became Big Papa Pump.
I'm of the thought of the stuff they had, the matches they had in two of the biggest promotions, and of course Scott is a big star on his own. It's interesting that they both get to go in together. My assumption is that Braun Breaker, Rick's son, who's a huge star in NXT, is going to be able to induct them.
I think so. I think that makes the most sense, right? Is having Braun Breaker, the up and comer guy that's in WWE, to induct his dad and his uncle. That makes absolute sense. I love the Steiners. I love Scott Steiner, watching him in WCW. The big bad booty daddy. Oh man, that was
Steiner math, baby. Steiner math with Petey Williams.
Do we get a Scott Steiner? Because the infamous sacrifice promo where he cuts this ridiculous promo about math and you don't have a 33rd and a third chance, and he's just so dedicated to it.
Petey's a producer.
I always knew that I had a 66 and a 77% chance of winning this Hall of Fame.
Petey's there now. Petey's there now, and he was a big part of that. He was in that promo, and actually, Peter Williams getting a lot of praise for the work he's doing as a producer right now in WWE. He of course was the innovator of the Canadian Destroyer back in the day, back when you didn't see that move every 5 minutes in pro wrestling, and you watched Petey Williams do that for the first time in awe. It'll be interesting to see if there's some kind of skit, something fun that they're going to do. It'll be real interesting. They did not announce who's inducted them yet, did they?
I think sometimes leaving that as a surprise is kind of okay, considering how big this year's class is. And the whole show is just about Undertaker going in.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, get your tissues ready for tonight, because it's already been released online, but the Shad Gaspard tribute video is probably going to be played on Raw tonight as well. And man.
Fun story quick before we head into our last story here. Last year during WrestleMania in Tampa, I had the pleasure of doing the post show, and Kevin was on the post show with me with JTG, Shad Gaspard's former tag team partner, and I, after the show was over, JTG texted me because the wait for the Uber was like 2.5 hours, and my Airbnb was right down the road from the stadium. So he was like, "Hey, can you give me a ride?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, that's not a problem." So Rico, myself, JTG, and his girl, we gave him a ride to his hotel and whatever. It was about maybe 20 minutes out of the way, but it's whatever. It's JTG. Yeah. Let me do that favor, because you never know where you're gonna need. So we talked, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry to hear about Shad, because this was like what, a month before Shad had passed away, about a month or two before.
I think it was relatively around that time frame. Yeah.
Yeah. So I asked him, and I'm like, man, like from your point of view, is like, how did you take this? And I mean, he just stopped, and he's like, man, it like a piece of my heart was taken out of me. That's how much he loved Shad Gaspard. And that was literally, that's like my first day meeting JTG, and I'm giving JTG a ride to his hotel, and he's pouring his heart out at me about Shad Gaspard. That's how much Shad Gaspard was loved. So
yeah. Valiant guy who did a great thing, gave up his life to save his child. What, and before that, risked his life to stop someone from robbing a convenience store, and use that beautiful God-gifted body to save people's lives. And then on top of it, had a successful career in film outside of WWE, and did great things in charity work and comic books and all these different things. He really expanded the portfolio of just being a pro wrestler. He was a whole lot more than that. It'll be nice to see him get those honors. Obviously, it is nice that when WWE does this Warrior Award, that it tends to be a PR outreach moment, which is, those are never bad. It's great to see when they do it they've done it with veterans, they've done it with, personal children and kids who are dealing with different issues. it is nice that they went inward and said, we're going to go with someone who deserves this.
It was always great. It was always great when they finally decided to recognize some of the unsung heroes with the company as well. I think that is a deserving qualifier for that Warrior Award as well. A lot of employees go above and beyond, and they got a couple of them have gotten recognized over the time. But yeah, this is a no-brainer, and glad that they decided to go this direction this year.
WrestleMania has secured a big deal moving forward with all these different things here. We've heard about WrestleMania in theaters. You can watch it in theaters. Obviously, it's streaming on Peacock within the United States and on the WWE Network internationally. But WWE looking at new ways to partner up with retail brick and mortar stores. This has been a big thing with a lot of different media companies, not just WWE, with a lot of different companies looking at doing deals just like this. There's some NFL franchises that are talking about doing stuff like this. And now WWE just flat out saying, when you're going to watch this, if you want to go somewhere, you can also go and do it at Dave & Buster's. You can play the games, you can win the tickets, and you can see the big matches as well.
Play some Fruit Ninja and cheer on your tribal chief.
You play that gigantic Pac-Man game they always
that
had.
wasn't and that wasn't the only announcement of partnership. They've also announced a deal with Fanatics as well, which is interesting. I don't know if it's going to be a specialty line, because obviously you've had that WWE shop built in for so long.
For those that don't know Fanatics, what is that? There's some people that don't know.
Fanatics is basically the go-to online store, online retailer for professional sports. Basically every professional sports official store is through Fanatics now, and so maybe Fanatics is now going to get integrated in with WWE
good,
shop,
which is good because they had that deal with New Era with the caps, and so now with Fanatics, that just makes it even more legit.
Yeah, and WWE has a handful of different merchandising deals with other people where they partner up and do some different things. So they're a brand where they can play around with that stuff, and if something clicks, they keep doing it.
And going back to Dave & Buster's, much like back in the day, Hooters partnered with them as well. Dave & Buster's has gigantic screens to watch the the action. They always do a lot of Super Bowl parties and things like that. So Dave & Buster's is probably a good partner for something like that. And for those that want to either not pay for a subscription or just want to go out and watch something like this, it's going to be starting at WrestleMania and going forward with all premium live events going forward. If so, you can head to your own.
So if you're about to go out for the night, hang out with your wrestling crew, would you prefer to be at the movie theater and watch WrestleMania at the movie theater, or go hang out at Dave & Buster's where you can drink, eat, and play video games and watch WrestleMania?
I would say Dave & Buster's, because I remember when I was 21 and just being at that Hooters when Undertaker returned as the badass for the first time ever, and nobody had seen him like that ever, and it was such a surreal moment because the match itself was intense. I think it was an Iron Man match, if I'm not mistaken, and just that moment and just the whole bar
is this
going nuts.
the Triple H Rock one they did that one?
I think so, yeah. And the whole family got involved, and you never saw Undertaker move that quickly. He comes in on his bike, and they had these promos for teasing it all leading up to that moment at Judgment Day 2000, and it was a real cool moment to witness, and being in a bar full of people and having some beers. I think it was pretty cool to see like that. So that compared to a movie, I'd like that compared to the movie theater.
What about you, Kevin?
I've heard for many years, and WWE stopped it once they launched the network in 2014. But WWE in Canada did. You could see it in theaters, and I remember listening to the guys on Post Wrestling, Live Audio Wrestling out of Toronto, and they would always talk about getting calls when they would do a Sunday night post show. They would get calls from people that just left the theater, and they would always say, "Oh, we just left the theater, and oh yeah, in Hamilton it was all packed to the rafters. Let me tell you, yeah, the heels were over. We were blowing the bodies, and now we're gonna go get some Tim Hortons." And so like that always sounded fun because it was like a remote thing, but you were there. It was closed circuit. It's the original version of pay-per-view, It's interesting that WWE is doing this as they're signing more streaming deals. But I think at the same time, maybe if 10 years ago, this would feel like, oh, you're slighting your pay-per-view partner by doing this. Now you got to give people all the options they can to watch
Yeah.
something. I got to be able to watch Netflix on my phone. I got to be able to watch it on my TV. I got to be able to watch it on my laptop when I want. I think the media world and how we consume things, the standard is way different.
There wasn't anything lost, though, because a bar paying for a WWF pay-per-view is not $9.99. They're not $50. They're paying based on capacity, much like a bar does for MMA for UFC. So
For the UFC,
and I don't know what the deal is though for the theaters because it's a ticketed event. So is WWE getting?
It's a higher price too.
Probably got to be a higher price.
It's like $25.
It has to be.
It's $25 a person or so.
Roland Curtis, always so supportive of the brand with the super chats. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Roland. Always rolling out the big bucks.
Appreciate you, Roland.
Speaking of the Canadian Destroyer, we were talking about Petey Williams and his flipping pile driver earlier. Are you guys familiar with the Steiner screwdriver? Scott Steiner would turn a vertical suplex into a tombstone. I heard about this, and it always looked incredibly dangerous. If you ever looked up the Steiner brothers in Japan, they would wreck people. I mean, obviously that is the style in Japan is you always lay your stuff in, right? Mm-hmm. But this is like in the late 80s, early 90s when they would go and do these Japan tours. They were going for like that Legion of Doom viciousness as the foreign monsters, and they really felt they needed to do that. And they were legit shooters. You know, they had legitimate backgrounds as collegiate wrestlers, and I think in Japan they always have to remind people like that. But still, a move like that is insane. Like that's so unsafe. It's unsafe.
He did stuff that it was, you know. Before he became all jacked up, he was still jacked up before the big bad booty daddy, but he just was an innovator. He was a true innovator of moves, and seriously, you did not ever. He would do stuff that you would never ever see before, and before Hurricane Rana was commonplace, you saw it and just were in amazement that a guy that size could do something like that.
I got the clip here for everyone who's never seen the Steiner screwdriver, but let me.
Okay. We're doing some WCW spring break right here.
Look at that. Look at that hair.
Wow.
That looks so
brutal.
That looks so brutal.
Guys, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us here today on the first day of WrestleMania week, which is going to be the most stupendous week of all time. We appreciate you. We're going to be bringing you tons of content this week. Kevin and I will be in Dallas Wednesday throughout the weekend, so it's going to be a wild one. We may even attend a wedding. We don't know yet.
What?
So
yes.
We may even, yeah.
We've been invited.
We may. We've
been invited to Wedding Mania.
We can't divulge too much information about
that.
That's it. We may be invited to a wedding. So
hopefully guys, we got to figure out how to do the live stream on that. We have to figure out how to do the live stream.
I don't know. But we got a lot of cool stuff could drop in this week for you guys. So make sure you set your notifications to see first, so you don't miss whenever we drop brand new content. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're well on our way to 30,000. Appreciate you guys. We love you.
How much can we do before the end of the week? How much can we do before the end of the week? Sub.
Do that now. Sub to the podcast. Make sure you do that. Give us a 5-star review. Get us up on the charts. We love you. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as always, what's the one thing y'all have to do when you're watching wrestling?
Well, y'all down in Texas, we watch the world class. We watch the Von Erichs, the girls go woo, the Freebirds come out, and we just enjoy wrestling.
Yeah!
Talk to them.
Yeah!
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!